The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. Extremely well-written book, written in a patrician, aristocratic style. Wonderful sentences. Excuse me. Wonderful sentences. Sentences loaded with psychological insight. There's one point in the novel, towards the latter end of the novel, where Edith Wharton is describing a character known as Norma Hatch, who is kind of a nouveau riche person that Lily Bard is, I guess, working for, helping out. And Edith Wharton describes the milieu in which these shallow nouveau riche people move. And the writing is as good as Vladimir Nabokov to me. She has an ornate, Baroque style, which is shot through with an ultra-dry, bone-dry wit, which to me is just as good as Nabokov, even though she wrote this book before Nabokov came on the scene. The writing is terrific. I probably will try to read this book again just for the style. It's so stunning. Except that I'm not going to do it right now because the book was just so damn depressing. I'm going to wait a little bit before rereading it. I'm not that much of a glutton for punishment. As far as the writing goes, the style, sometimes she loads her sentences with so much ornamentation, each sentence. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I wish that she would just have a few simple declarative sentences once in a while. Edith Wharton seems to feel that every single sentence has to be loaded with this immensely ornate structure. It's a minor criticism. I wish she just toned it down a little bit. But basically this writing is like out of this world. Of course, I mean, like many people, I just didn't care for the character of Lily Bart. I mean, to me, I don't know what Edith Wharton was shooting for. I mean, Lily Bart is not a tragic character for me. She's not really a character that steps out of the bounds of social norms and comes to this shattering vision of life which touches all of us in a universal way. She's indecisive in the way that Hamlet is indecisive, I suppose. But she doesn't have the universality of a Hamlet. She doesn't have the universality of a Macbeth, or of a Captain Ahab, or of a Martin Eden. To me, Lily Bart is just kind of a deeply, deeply neurotic person who's between a rock and a hard place. She knows that if she wants to live among the wealthy, because she's a poor person, then she's going to have to marry rich. And she's going to have to marry not for love, but for money. And she knows this, but she can't do it. She gets so many marriage proposals, but she's always sabotaging herself. She loves this other character named Selden. Selden is a lawyer. He's not exactly poor. He has a profession. She loves him and he loves her. But he's not wealthy enough for her, apparently. And Selden is put off by the fact that she's so enamored with wanting to become a socialite herself. I don't know. It's kind of thin to me. When all is said and done, Lily Bart has got to get over her self-destructive, neurotic personality and simply say, I love you, Selden, and Selden has got to get through his cerebral, tight-lipped, constrained personality and say, I love you, Lily, and they get married, and that's it. To me, she's neurotic. She's not tragic. Now, of course, Edith Wharton makes Lily somebody who hates herself for wanting to be a socialite herself. I mean, Lily knows this about herself. She knows she can only function well in a society of glamour. She's extremely beautiful and she's made for glamour. But at the same time, she hates herself for wanting to be part of this hollow and shallow existence. Well, to me, this is just a neurotic failing. It's not a universal subject. We all have our own neurotic issues. This happens to be Lily Bart's. Her conflicted feelings about wanting to aspire to the social heights. This would be best resolved on the psychoanalyst's couch, not in a novel. This is the main problem I have with this. She's extremely self-destructive in a neurotic way. She can't make up her mind what to do. She's indecisive. She knows that her indecision will lead her to extreme poverty or worse, which it does. But her indecision is not of the type of a Hamlet. It's just not that kind of indecision. It's not of that universal tragic level for me. And this is the main failing of the novel. I mean, we feel sympathy, if I feel sympathy for Lily Bart to a certain extent, because she's not a shallow person, she's a very moral person. She wants to pay back Gus Traynor the money that he's given her. And this is great, you know, so she's a sympathetic character to a point. But about halfway through the book, I lost my sympathy for her. I mean, her self-destructiveness is just so overwhelming, it eclipses any sympathy I have for her as a character. So what is this novel for me? This novel for me is not so much a tragedy as it is a novel of social commentary about the hypocritical nature in which women were regarded back at the turn of the last century. She seems to be more suffering from, she seems to be two things going on here. Lily Bart seems to be a deeply neurotic person in her own right, which is aggravated by the hypocritical attitude which society had towards single, unmarried women back at the turn of the century. That's what the novel essentially is to me. It seems to me that the great, immense talent that Edith Wharton has, her psychological depth, the way that she can weave sentences, is kind of wasted on a character like Lily Bart. Now, of course, a lot of people think that Lily Bart is in some ways a tragic character and that this is a universal theme. I fail to see that. I just do. Some of this is dated. I mean, clearly the attitudes that society has towards unattached single women is far different now than it was 120 years ago. Nowadays, if an attractive young unmarried woman is seen in the company of a man late at night, well, you know, she's not ostracized from society, obviously. And yet at the same time, it still does retain its relevance in the sense that there are still in spite of women's liberation, the strides that women have made socially, there are still, we all know this, there are some extremely attractive women out there, young women, unmarried women, who realize that their destiny is to attach themselves to somebody well off. If you can find a wealthy husband who you love, great. If you can't love him but you can tolerate him, okay. There are lots of women out there who do not want to have careers and do not want to have to work for a living, who want to be insulated from that kind of life, and whose object in life is to marry wealthy. This is still true now. So it is still relevant, socially speaking, nowadays as well. But to me, this is really a novel of social commentary. And the complications that arise in Lily's life, the painful complications arise purely from her peculiar and particular neurosis. And that's kind of how I feel about it.